Welcome to Melbourne Avalon Airport, Melbourne's number 2 airport, located approximately 49 kilometres to the southeast of Flinders Street Station. Today, I will be flying on the most popular route from this airport, Jetstar's daily flight, bound for Sydney. What is the cheapest Jetstar ticket you have ever bought? $100? $70? $50? At the end of this video, you'll find out exactly how much I paid for this low-cost fare. After having arrived in Melbourne earlier that morning from Singapore, I spent my morning with one of my best friends as well as drinking a cup of well-needed wake-up juice. I have more than likely stated this in the past, however, Melbourne has 4 airports serving the city, namely Tullamarine, Avalon, Essendon and Moorabbin. Tullamarine, which most people are familiar with, is the large international airport serving the majority of the city's needs. Essendon is the old international airport, but currently serves a few domestic routes, mainly to the Tasmanian Islands as well as corporate jets and general aviation. Moorabbin is predominantly general aviation and some charter flights. And finally, Avalon Airport is host to the biannual Avalon Air Show, Australia's largest air show. The airport also serves multiple daily flights to Brisbane, Gold Coast and of course Sydney, which is where I shall be flying to today, as stated in my introduction. To get to Avalon Airport, you only really have one option, and that is to drive, whether that be by Uber or taxi, your own car, or the Skybus, which operates in conjunction with all flights departing from the airport. Tickets for the Skybus can either be obtained online or by the self-service kiosks at each of their stops. A one-way ticket from Southern Cross Station to Avalon costs $27.30 for adults and takes approximately 1 hour, including the 5-minute stop in Werribee. Upon arrival at the terminal, everyone quickly made their way inside the complex to begin the check-in procedures, myself included. Check-in for Jetstar is basically everywhere. Every single kiosk is Jetstar dedicated. However, unfortunately, unlike the ones at say Tullamarine and Sydney, these are not Jetstar branded, meaning the boarding passes printed are rather plain, but don't get me wrong, the kiosks are very easy to use. The bag drop counters, located just ahead of the kiosks, are also very easy to use, and after a simple scan of my boarding pass, my bag was sent on its way to Sydney. Security is located to the right-hand side of the building, perpendicular to the entrance. Avalon Airport has recently implemented enhanced security measures following an incident involving a teenager trying to board a flight with a loaded shotgun. I expected to feel like I was back in the US, being stripped to the bare minimum, and each individual having a thorough inspection. However, this was far from the case. It was rather quick and very easy. Avalon has an absolutely tiny departure lounge with very few amenities, basically enough for 1 or 2 flights tops. Generally speaking, I recommend passing through security at the earliest possible opportunity after check-in, but at Avalon, this is one airport where I would avoid passing through until roughly 30 minutes before boarding starts. Looking outside onto the airfield, waiting at the gate, is the aircraft flying me north to Sydney, which today is an Airbus A320-200, registered as Victor Hotel Victor Golf Uniform. Construction of this airframe was completed at Airbus's final assembly line in Toulouse, France, in February of 2010. She was delivered brand new to Jetstar the following month, making this aircraft 15 years old. Boarding commenced shortly after I had arrived at the gate, and was in no particular order. However, passengers seated in rows 1 to 16 were told to board via the front stairs, and rows 17 and beyond via the rear stairs. Jetstar's A320s have two different configurations. This particular aircraft has 186 Collins Aerospace Pinnacle seats in a 3-3 layout. This afternoon I shall be seated in 19 Alpha on the port side of the aircraft. The seat has 28.5 inches or 72 centimeters of pitch and 17.5 inches or 44 centimeters of width. There is a standard tray table that folds down and extends towards you. In the seat pocket, you'll find Jetstar's standard safety card as well as a buy on board menu and air sickness bag. Above are individual reading lights, air vents, and 2 flight attendant call buttons. Soon we commenced our pushback from Gate 2, 10 minutes ahead of our scheduled departure time.
Emergency exits, which will now show you. Place it over your head, pass the strap around your back, clip it at the front, and then pull on the loose strap to tighten. Only inflate your life jacket as you leave the aircraft by pulling down on the red tags.
We taxied to runway 18 via Bravo. Now please enjoy this unedited takeoff. Once in the air, we spun around to the left over Point Wilson, setting up a northeasterly course for Sydney. Flight time today is 1 hour and 8 minutes, covering a distance of 510 miles or 821 kilometers, cruising at 39,000 feet. During our initial turn, the left-hand side of the aircraft was treated to an unobstructed view of the airport that we just departed from, and no more than 3 minutes later, down below was Werribee, the second and only stop for the Avalon Express Skybus service, which I took earlier. Jetstar offers a paid streaming service called Jetstar Entertainment Plus that allows you to stream a variety of different movies, TV shows, games and music, whilst in flight on your personal device. The whole service costs $7 for the entire length of the flight. However, according to the Jetstar website, the availability of this system is based on the aircraft type and the route that is being served. Jetstar does not offer complimentary food on board their flights unless you book a certain fare type, which most people are not a big fan of. My fare did not include a food voucher, however I paid for a $10 meal voucher separately after the booking process, and today I asked for a can of Pringles and some lemonade, both of which were very good, and I can't complain about them. Flying between Avalon and Sydney offers passengers a chance to glimpse several different key cities and towns along the way on both sides of the aircraft, such as Canberra and Melbourne CBD, or in my case today, Wangaratta and Albury. Whilst not being large cities, they were easily recognisable from the air. On board the aircraft are 3 bathrooms, 1 at the front and 2 at the rear. Inside is everything you would typically come to expect for this aircraft type, including the Qantas branded hand soap and a baby changing station. Soon we commenced our descent into Sydney. As this video marked the ending of my 2-week journey to Europe, my body had absolutely no clue what time it was on. So throughout the descent, I ended up falling asleep and waking up and falling asleep and waking up on repeat due to jet lag. Jet lag is a temporary sleep disorder that occurs when traveling across multiple time zones, disrupting the body's internal clock or circadian rhythm. It's a mismatch between your body's normal sleep-wake cycle and the new time zone. It's not really noticeable on shorter time zone changes, for example between Sydney and Perth or Sydney and Auckland. However, when you fly across the entire planet, yeah, you tend to notice it. My body was currently on German time, meaning during the descent, my body was telling me that it was 7 AM in the morning, and considering that I had been awake since 5 AM Melbourne time, or 10 PM Frankfurt time, it felt like I had been awake all night. To give even more context, I have no memory of this descent or arrival into Sydney, as I awoke once we were on the ground. Now please enjoy this unedited landing. After landing, we taxied back to Terminal 2 via Bravo 7, Bravo and Bravo 3. We pulled into gate 53, 13 minutes ahead of schedule. Stepping off the aircraft and into the terminal building, I thanked the crew for the flight and turned my attention away from Jetstar and towards reclaiming my bag and going home. I think that no matter what I say in my videos about my experiences on Jetstar, there will always be someone who conforms to the stereotype that Jetstar is a bad airline. I genuinely don't understand where and how this could be, as excluding one cancelled flight in Japan, I have never really had any issues with them. I also think that people are unfairly comparing Jetstar to its parent company Qantas, or comparing to rival Virgin, as on one hand, Virgin Australia is basically identical to Jetstar, being that they don't have entertainment screens, they both charge for bags, seat selection and food, the legroom is roughly the same, and generally speaking the flights also cost the same. On the other hand, Qantas is a full-service airline and charges double the price of Jetstar, which includes seat selection, bags and the food, which, not to mention, is also very similar to Jetstar on domestic flights. Regarding delays and rude crew, this can happen on any airline at any time, and trust me, it's happened on all 3 carriers. In conclusion, calling Jetstar an inferior or superior product than Virgin or Qantas is simply an unfair comparison. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment and subscribe, and make sure you check out my other videos that I have posted if you want to see more. And I have said this before, but I now have a Discord server. Feel free to join. The link can be found at the top of the description. And as always, feel free to press the notification button too, as it will let you know when I upload again, which happens every Friday at 8 PM Sydney time. And I hope to see you again in the next one. See you later!